The universe doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what you are. And what you are is a signal you're broadcasting, often without even realizing it. Here's the catch. The more desperate you are to make something happen, the more it seems to slip away. Not punishment, just confusion. The universe can't read mixed signals, and that's exactly where most people get stuck. You think you're asking clearly, but you're not. You're broadcasting from fear, from lack, from neediness, and expecting abundance to show up anyway. Let me illustrate. Imagine a woman standing on a cliff with a flare gun. She wants to be rescued, so she fires it high into the sky. The smoke rises, but the wind picks up, twisting the signal. What was once a clear message becomes a blur. The rescue helicopter above sees something, but it's unclear. Is it a call for help? A celebration? A mistake? They fly past. That's exactly what happens when you send a flare from a chaotic emotional state. You want clarity, but your frequency is noisy, and the universe, like the helicopter, can't respond to what it doesn't understand. Here's the real problem. Nobody explained the rules. They told you to think positive, visualize, ask, and receive, but they never showed you what you were really doing when you asked. Because asking isn't just words, it's vibration. Vibrations don't lie. You could say, "I'm abundant 1,000 times a day," but if your body is humming fear, your nervous system loops on doubt, and your heart is tight with anxiety, you're not asking for abundance. You're living scarcity, and embodiment always overrides intention. This is where most manifestations collapse. You follow the steps, vision boards, journaling, meditating, and still, nothing happens. Or worse, the opposite happens. Why? Because your frequency is split. One part of you wants it, the other doesn't believe it's possible. That internal conflict creates a signal the universe can't read. The universe, an infinitely intelligent vibrational field, responds only to coherence. Anything less is static, like a radio station trying to play 2 songs at once. You hear noise, not music. Pause for a moment. Ask yourself, what are you really broadcasting right now? Not your words, not your journal entries, but your state of being. Are you tense or relaxed? Open or guarded? Trusting or skeptical? Because the universe isn't listening to your mind, it's listening to your state. Now here's the quantum part. In quantum physics, there's a principle called superposition. A particle exists in all possible states until it's observed. Everywhere and nowhere until something collapses it into form. Apply this to your life. Your desire, the new job, the love, the healing, the abundance, already exists in potential. It's real, floating in the infinite field of probabilities, waiting to be collapsed into your reality. And the only thing that can collapse it? Your frequency of observation. Here's the twist. Observe with doubt, and you collapse the version where it doesn't happen. Want it, but don't believe it. Visualize it, but fear it. And you collapse a distorted outcome, nothing like what you imagined. So when it feels like the universe is ignoring you, it's not. It's just responding to your dominant signal, even if that signal isn't the one you think you're sending. This is why manifestation often feels like a betrayal. You try hard. You pour your energy, your focus, your spiritual intention into it, and still, nothing. And when nothing happens, doubt creeps in. You start thinking, maybe this only works for certain people, or it's not my time yet, or I must be doing something wrong. And that thought, it becomes your next broadcast. It reinforces the confusion. The cycle continues. But here's the empowering truth. Manifestation isn't failing. It's always working. The universe is responding, just not to your wants. It responds to who you are in each moment. Let's go a little deeper. Neuroscience shows that 95% of your thoughts and emotional patterns run unconsciously. That means, while you might be affirming your desires with a tiny slice of awareness, the rest of you is sending the opposite signal, 95% of the time. That's not just misalignment. That's a complete override. You can't outthink a nervous system locked in survival mode. You can't outjournal a heart that's protecting itself. You can't out-visualize a body addicted to lack. The whole system has to shift, and that starts with understanding a key paradox. Desire alone isn't enough. Want without coherence only creates confusion. Here's a truth most people never hear. You don't manifest what you want because wanting is a signal of absence. You manifest what you embody. Embodiment is a signal of possession. The universe doesn't read your words. It reads your vibration. It responds not to your dreams, but to your defaults. And your defaults are set by your emotional baseline, not by how hard you try. Thinking differently? Not enough. Feeling differently? Not enough. Believing? Still not enough. What matters is coherence, a state where your thoughts, emotions, sensations, and expectations all flow in the same direction. One unified signal. That's when the universe responds, precisely and instantly. Picture this. You walk into a room full of radios, each playing a different frequency. One emits static, one plays a love song, another broadcasts an emergency alert. Now imagine you're trying to tune in to just the love song, but your hand keeps flicking the dial, switching frequencies every few seconds. That's what your energy field looks like when you're trying to manifest from emotional contradiction. You say you want love, but you fear rejection. You say you want abundance, but you obsess over bills. You say you're ready for the next level, but your nervous system is still wired for survival. This creates vibrational dissonance, a mismatch between your conscious intent and your subconscious broadcast. And the quantum field only listens to clarity. Here's where science backs this up. In 1991, researchers discovered the heart brain, 40,000 neurons in the heart. The body doesn't just react to the mind. It broadcasts a coherent electromagnetic field based on emotional state. The HeartMath Institute even showed this field extends beyond the body and can influence others. Your heart isn't just beating, it's transmitting your vibration. So when your mind says yes, but your heart whispers no, what reaches the universe is static, confusion, a mixed signal that collapses nothing into reality. This is why affirmations, visualizations, and scripting often fail. The head says one thing, the body another. This friction kills manifestation. Quantum reality doesn't respond to friction. It responds to frequency purity. It's not mystical. It's physics. Waves in sync amplify. Out of sync, they cancel each other. Silence. Nothing. Your subconscious loops on past emotional data. Pain, rejection, failure, abandonment. Your body remembers it all. Joe Dispenza calls this living in the memory of the known. Your energy keeps replaying yesterday's frequencies while your words try to ask for tomorrow. Neville Goddard puts it simply, feeling is the secret. You don't attract, you become. You must dwell emotionally and physically in the frequency of already having it. That's alignment, not denial. But here's the trap. Most people unknowingly send contradictory instructions every day. They visualize clearly, then scroll social media and compare themselves. They meditate in gratitude, then question their worth. These micro moments of misalignment fragment the signal. The quantum field responds to the dominant frequency, not the best intention moment. Here's the kicker. Most manifestation struggles come down to one subtle emotion: lack. Even when you say, "I want more money," the undercurrent is, "I don't have enough." Even when you affirm, "I am loved," your vibration may be whispering loneliness. So what you're really doing is broadcasting absence, even while pretending to be positive. The universe, being literal, simply responds to the frequency you're sending, not your words. Think of it like a GPS. Think of the quantum field like a GPS. You tell it where you want to go: abundance, love, peace. But if your internal coordinates are fear, scarcity, or not enough, the system gets confused. You can't reach joy if your energetic signal keeps recalibrating to doubt every few minutes. GPS works by triangulating clear signals from multiple satellites. Your life works the same way. If your thoughts, emotions, and actions don't align around one coherent vibration, you drift, you loop, you stall. Manifestation becomes an endless road trip with no destination. Here's a key insight. Your emotional state shapes what you see. Neuroscience confirms this. If your baseline is worry, your brain filters reality through that lens. Opportunities pass unnoticed. Synchronicities are dismissed as coincidences. So the universe may actually be delivering, but you're not tuned in to recognize it. You become blind to your own answered prayers. That, perhaps, is the deepest form of cosmic irony. What's the solution? Not trying harder, not pushing. It's about stillness, about listening, about noticing where inside you there's contradiction, where desire and doubt coexist, where you're calling for love but guarding your heart, praying for abundance while looping in fear. Only by shining a light on these unconscious contradictions can you choose a single, stable frequency, one coherent, recognizable to the field. Now let's take it quantum. There's something always observing you. Not a person, not a presence, but your own consciousness. And here's the radical truth from quantum physics, echoed by spiritual traditions for centuries. Observation shapes reality. The double-slit experiment proved it. Particles of light remain waves, infinite potential, until observed. Once observed, they collapse into form, into reality. Apply that to your life. Your money, health, relationships, sense of self, all exist in a superposition of possibilities until you observe them. But here's the nuance. You don't observe with your eyes. You observe with focus, expectation, and emotion. Wherever your attention lands, one reality collapses. All others are eliminated. This isn't metaphor, it's physics. The universe isn't waiting for you to act. It's entangled with your awareness, responding to your consciousness, moment by moment. So when you ask, "Why does this always happen to me?" That's not a rhetorical question. That's a command, a vote, a frequency, and the universe collapses reality to match it. Here's the practical side. Your day begins before your feet touch the floor. Your mind is already observing. Worry about money, regret, dread. Those thoughts, paired with emotion, create a frequency. That frequency collapses your reality, long before you try affirmations or visualizations. Even if you later declare abundance, the field already received your first signal, lack, and the field is faithful. It mirrors your dominant observer state. The universe doesn't eavesdrop on your desires. It reflects your gaze. Consider this story. A young man wanted wealth. Each morning, he journaled, visualized, repeated affirmations. Nothing changed. In fact, it worsened. During meditation, he caught a quiet, automatic thought. I'm afraid it will never happen. That thought, charged with emotion, was his true observation, the frequency collapsing his reality. He wasn't failing to want abundance. He was manifesting from a place where abundance didn't exist. Most people are stuck here. They think desire is enough, but fear is the observer. Fear of disappointment, fear of failure, fear of hope unfulfilled. The universe doesn't respond to wishes. It responds to emotional attention. That attention, charged with feeling, collapses infinite possibilities into one outcome. And your subconscious? It governs over 90% of your perception and behavior. It's constantly observing, running patterns to keep you safe. If you grew up around scarcity, it normalizes financial stress. Betrayal? Distrust becomes reality. Failure, doubt is truth. All those repeated observations, day in, day out, collapse the same realities over and over. Not because you're cursed, but because your inner observer has been trained to expect them. Here's the game changer. You can train the observer to collapse a different world. Bruce Lipton showed that genes don't control your life. Perception does. And perception is nothing more than trained observation. Change the lens you observe through, and everything shifts. The chemicals in your body, the thoughts your mind generates, the emotions your heart radiates, all of it transforms the frequency you emit into the field. Suddenly, the probabilities around you start to reorder. Why? Because your observer is no longer tuned to the past. It's attuned to the new, and the universe responds accordingly. Neville Goddard called this assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. It's not imagination for imagination's sake. It's a shift in the observer. You start emotionally observing your life as if your manifestation has already happened. Not to trick the universe, but because this is how you collapse the version where it exists. Anything less, anything rooted in waiting, hoping, or needing, broadcasts absence, and absence attracts more absence. Here's where most people stumble. They think action is the key. But action taken from a fearful observer state only reinforces the old outcome. It's not about doing. It's about being the observer from the end. The one who walks into a room already expecting to be chosen. Who opens the bank app already trusting there's more than enough. Who sees challenges not as confirmation of failure, but as proof that growth is happening. Because when you change how you observe, the world must change how it appears. But what if I don't believe it yet? What if I can't fake it? Here's the truth. You don't need to fake it. You need to practice it. The observer effect isn't a trick, it's a habit. Every time you redirect your emotional focus, from fear to trust, lack to gratitude, doubt to knowing, you train the observer to collapse a different version of reality. And as that version becomes familiar, the field begins reflecting it back with clarity. So the next time you wonder, why isn't it working? Pause. Look at the gaze behind the question. The universe is working perfectly. It's just reflecting who is watching it. Your manifestations feel inconsistent, sometimes arriving, sometimes vanishing, often distorted. Not because the universe is punishing you, but because your signal isn't stable. Energetically, you're broadcasting multiple frequencies at once. When these compete, The field responds with noise, silence, or distorted reflection. But imagine if you could become one single frequency. What if your thoughts, emotions, nervous system, and energy field all vibrated in harmony? A coherent wave moving in one direction, no contradiction. This is quantum coherence, the most powerful state a human can enter. Here's why it matters. Your heart generates an electromagnetic field more than 60 times stronger than your brain. This field carries emotional information. When your heart beats with fear, your field ripples with incoherence. When it beats with trust, it radiates order. And your brain, wired to survive, picks up these patterns. When the heart is chaotic, the mind becomes noisy. When the heart is calm, the mind sharpens. This isn't poetic, it's biology. Emotional coherence comes before mental clarity, not after. Here's an example. A man spends years manifesting success. He reads, meditates, attends seminars. But inside, he's tense. His body tight, breath shallow, nervous system alert. What if it doesn't work? What if I'm not enough? What if I lose it all? These thoughts pair with sensations, constriction in the chest, restlessness in the gut. He visualizes abundance, but his body rehearses failure. That's contradiction, not coherence. Contradiction never commands the quantum field. The body stores memory, trauma, doubt, guilt. Unless these patterns shift physiologically, not just mentally, your signal won't stabilize. You can affirm your dream all day, but if your body is looping on survival codes from the past, you broadcast the old reality. That's why so many people manifest in circles. They've changed their thoughts, but not their state. Quantum coherence is what happens when your body becomes the physical proof of your future, when your breath, posture, emotions, and inner narrative align with a single timeline. Not theoretically, biologically. The HeartMath Institute calls this heart-brain coherence. It's a measurable state where the heart's rhythm becomes harmonious, sending signals that shift the brain into alpha or theta waves, the same frequencies that open access to the subconscious and heighten neuroplasticity. In that state, your immune system strengthens, hormones balance, perception sharpens, and your energy becomes clear, focused, and magnetic. The field, always listening, starts responding immediately. Think of coherence like tuning a laser. A flashlight scatters light in every direction. A laser, same light, same photons, is focused, aligned, coherent. That's why it can cut through steel. Now apply that to your manifestation energy. When you're emotionally scattered, you're the flashlight. But when your mind, heart, and breath vibrate as one, you become the laser, focused enough to cut through timelines, powerful enough to collapse reality. So how do you enter that state? Start by interrupting your habitual signals. Pause before your nervous system auto-reacts. Feel what you're feeling before it hijacks your energy. Then breathe. 3 deep, slow, intentional breaths, in through the nose, out through the mouth, are enough to start resetting your body's electrical rhythm. Now bring awareness to your heart, not as an idea, but as a sensation. Place your hand there. Feel it. Then bring in a single elevated emotion. Gratitude, love, or certainty. Not as performance, as vibration. You don't need to believe in magic for this to work. The field is listening either way. When you sustain that coherence for even 3 to 5 minutes, your brain waves shift. Your heart rhythms smooth out. Your chemistry begins reflecting the future you want, right now. Because the field doesn't respond to time. It responds to frequency. If you feel your dream is far away, that becomes your broadcast. But when you become the dream, emotionally and energetically, the signal becomes now. And now is the only moment where reality collapses. Here's the truth in one line. You don't attract what you think about. You attract what your nervous system is prepared to receive. If your system is coded for chaos, it will reject peace. If it's wired for lack, it will overlook abundance. If it's expecting rejection, it will sabotage love. Coherence is the antidote. It doesn't just manifest. It recalibrates your entire being to hold a new reality without breaking. That's why coherence isn't a one-time practice. It's a default setting you install. So here's your moment of activation. Type in the comments. I broadcast only one signal now. Let the field read your clarity. Let your body feel what it's like to choose one frequency instead of 50. Let your nervous system rest, because rest is the vibration of receiving. And the more you rest in alignment, the more the quantum field collapses realities that match that inner peace. Not later, now. But coherence is not the final step. It's the doorway. In this very moment, infinite versions of you exist. Not metaphorically, but literally. One version of you is healthy, vibrant, and alive. Another is stuck in fatigue. One is abundant. Another worries about bills. One is deeply loved. Another feels invisible. All of them are real. All exist simultaneously in the quantum field as probable timelines. But none of them are guaranteed. They only collapse into form when you do one thing. Choose. With precision. The quantum field doesn't operate on desire, effort, or hope. It mirrors clarity. And most people are so tangled in mental loops, emotional noise, and energetic contradictions that they never send a clean signal for any single timeline to collapse. They want love, but expect betrayal. They want wealth, but fear their own power. They want expansion, but cling to safety. So the universe, receiving no clear instruction, collapses the only thing it can: confusion. But here's the secret. The sages, mystics, and physicists have all agreed on this one truth. The field doesn't choose for you. You do. You're not waiting for the universe. The universe is waiting for you. The universe is waiting for you to become a coherent, committed observer. Someone who can hold the signal of a new reality without breaking. Let's break this down scientifically. In the double-slit experiment, an unobserved particle stays in a wave state, pure potential. The moment it's observed, it behaves like a particle. Observation collapses the wave. But here's the hidden factor. Which possibility collapses? It depends entirely on the state of the observer, not just where you look, but the aim, frequency, expectation, and vibrational commitment behind the gaze. Now bring this to your life. Every time you hold a vision of the future you desire, with emotional certainty, physical alignment, and mental clarity, you are measuring a potential. You are collapsing a wave. When your focus is precise, free of noise and contradiction, reality must bend to match it. Clarity is law. But there's a catch. You must become emotionally unavailable to all other versions of yourself. The waiting, doubting, fearful version, stop feeding it. The one that questions every delay, fears it might not work. Don't entertain it. Not with resistance, but with transcendence. Because as long as you keep observing the version of you that isn't ready or worthy, you keep collapsing it over and over with heartbreaking precision. To shift this, step into the frequency of decision. Decision is not a thought. It's a cellular, visceral command that says, This is who I am now. No backup plan, no waiting, no asking, just being. When your whole system aligns around one identity, one timeline, one chosen self, the field reorganizes. People show up, money flows, opportunities click into place. Why? Because the wave has collapsed, and it collapsed to match you. Here's a practice to enter that state. Find a quiet space. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, breathe slowly, in through the nose for 4 counts, hold for 4, out through the mouth for 6. Repeat until your body softens and your mind quiets. Now bring into awareness the version of you who already lives the reality you desire, not as fantasy, but as a felt experience. See how they move, breathe, speak. Notice their posture, calm, certain, aligned. Here's the key. Don't visualize them as outside yourself. Step into them. Feel their energy wrap around your nervous system like a second skin. Let your breath, emotions, and posture align with theirs. Even for a few seconds, live from the inside as that version. This is not faking. It's collapsing into it. What happens in real time? Your brain rewires its pathways for the new identity. Your heart generates a magnetic field aligned with elevated emotion. Your cells send chemical messengers tuned to your chosen frequency. Your energy broadcast sharpens. It becomes unmistakable, unshakable, unconfused. That's when the universe responds. The field doesn't care about time or rituals. It waits for clarity without contradiction. And when clarity is emotionally embodied, the quantum reality around you begins reorganizing. You cannot collapse a new reality if you're still emotionally invested in the old one. The field reads investments, not declarations. Withdraw your energy from waiting, from suffering, from one day. Detach from the identity that delays your breakthrough. It's done. Ask yourself now, not with hope, but with power. Which version of me am I choosing to collapse today? That version is already broadcasting. The only question, will you match it or keep listening to the static of who you used to be? Your new self is not a goal. It's a signal already in motion. Stabilize that signal. You don't chase manifestation, you become the reality the universe cannot ignore. Your future self is broadcasting quietly, consistently, unwaveringly. Already done. Already embodied. Not from desire, but from identity. It's not hidden, not somewhere else in time or space. It's here, in you, right now, beneath the static. The work is not to find it, it's to remember it.